Hello, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. You're listening to Stories with Sapphire. I am Sapphire Sandalo. Now get cozy and open your mind because it's story time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stories of Sapphire Live. I'm Sapphire Sandalo, and this is the live stream I do every Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. I feel like I haven't done this stream in a while. I canceled a couple. It was mostly because of scheduling issues. So it was either scheduling issues or extreme gas. I've been having crazy gas lately, like to the point where I cannot do anything. What a mess. Bodies are weird. So a couple updates before we get into it, because I think the last time I streamed I mentioned my eye and how I was gonna go to the doctor. My eye was literally just dry. Like, that was it. Like, I didn't use I need to use drops now. And actually I got COVID last year in June, and then I started having the weird dry eye stuff after that. So, and I was looking at long COVID symptoms, and dry eyes is something that can happen after you get COVID. Isn't that weird? I didn't know that was a thing, but the timing of it all makes sense to me. I'm like, oh, I think it was because of that, because I never had a problem with dry eyes before. Anyways, at the end of the stream, I'm actually going to pull from a different deck this time. It's the Wild Mystic Oracle deck. It's got different animals and stuff. It's one of my favorites. We're going to pull from that one instead, because I'm trying to bone up on my animal symbology knowledge. When I give readings, by the way, if you don't know, I give bone and tarot readings. You can sign up for it at StoriesWithSapphire.com. And while I'm shuffling, I close my eyes and I try to connect with a person, and I usually see animals. And the animals usually don't mean something literal. It's something symbolic. Or sometimes it is, the name of the animal means something to that person. But yeah, so I think that's how I receive information and messages. So I'm trying to understand animals better. Anyway, so that's that update. What else do I want to update you on? Let's see. Anything spooky happened to me? Yes. No one asked that. I asked that. So this is actually kind of cool. I've been falling asleep to sleep stories. I don't know if you use the Calm app, CALM, but it's pretty cool. Get a free premium subscription with my health insurance. So I was like, yeah, let me use this. And I also got sleep headphones. That way I can fall asleep to the meditation or the story. And almost 3 nights in a row, I would put on a random sleep story, and I would wake up during it, and then I would hear my name in the story. So it was almost something was hey, hello. Isn't that weird? It's happened 3 times. So I don't think that's a coincidence. I think my little spirit buddies are trying to talk to me. That's my theory. Anyways, you want to get into the stories? Scarlet Shield 009. I love the scorpion and the koala. Yes, I think I remember. Scorpion is be on the like have your sword out just in case. Like know how to, like, I think that's it. Like learn how to defend yourself if need be. And then the koala, I don't remember the koala. All right, so let's start with this story. This is called Siren Head, submitted by, I'm not sure. Let me wait till I'll say the name at the end in case they'd want to stay anonymous. Hello. Oh, my name is Anya, and I have a story that I thought you might be interested to hear. I'll try to write in as much detail as I can. When I was 10, my family moved to a brand new neighborhood on the edge of town. There were huge fields of land. Houses were still being built. Our house was an amazing change for everyone. My siblings and I got our own rooms. There were shops a few minutes away, and there was a forest not that far away. The forest was my favorite place. My friends and I explored the forest all the time, building tents, pretending to be fairies, making make-believe pies, etc. Sometimes one of us would dare another to go into the deepest part of the forest. We never did. It was the summer when this happened. My mama had just gotten me a new book, The Big Friendly Giant. I was instantly in love with this book. Every night I waited for him to come and give me dreams. One night, it was extremely misty and rainy. Usually when it rains, I sleep like a baby, but that night I was tossing and turning. Mind you, I never had sleep problems as a child. I always slept perfectly. So when it was around 1:30 a.m. in the morning, I went downstairs to grab some sleeping pills for children. Whenever my mom couldn't sleep, she went outside for a minute. I looked up to my mom, so I went outside as well. That's when I saw him. I still vividly remember him. A tall, bony figure, 2 sirens for a head. If he weren't walking, I would have thought it was a pole. He was standing a few blocks away from the house. At that point, I was feeling both happy and terrified. I thought that the BFG finally came. But why did he look like that? That's not what he looked like. I rushed back into the house, took the sleeping pills, and fell asleep. Fast forward to when I was 12. I had convinced myself that it was a dream. I didn't believe in the BFG, but I also didn't want to believe that I had seen Siren Head. My creepypasta and folklore friends had been telling me that I had seen him, but I brushed it off every time. The one day in September or October, I was sick. Everyone was at school or at work, so I just stayed inside and drew stuff. Then I heard my mama from downstairs. "Baby, I'm home. Come help me with the groceries." That was weird because my ma wasn't gonna come back until really late at night. Oh well, I yelled that I'll clean up my art supplies and be down in a minute. I heard my mama's voice say, "All right, honey." Well, behold, I go downstairs and no one is there. I walked around the house, checked the garage, the basement even. No one. I ran upstairs as fast as I could and locked my door. Another detail I vividly remember is that my birds started screaming and banging against the walls and windows. After I calmed them down, I turned on the TV and waited for my siblings and parents to come home. A couple weeks go by without any incident. I finally moved on from what happened, and I decided to go and explore the forest again. I went the next afternoon. I put on my headphones and went to my hiding spot. There, I sat down, pulled out my sketchbook, and started drawing. I could draw for hours on end like I did that time. Then, I got up and started heading home since I was already told to be home by sundown. But the sunset was so beautiful. I needed to take just one picture, so I ran to the cliff in the deeper part of the forest. I've been to that part lots of times. I stood on the cliff taking pictures, and then I heard a cry. My little sister's cry. She was crying, screaming for help. My heart dropped when I realized that the cry was coming from the forest below the cliff. I looked around for a weird-looking pole or tree, and that was the second time I saw Siren Head. He was standing far away, but I could still see him. So I ran. It's been a couple years since that happened. Our neighborhood is more occupied now. I haven't been to the forest in about a year. I watched your videos and I thought you might be interested in this. Thank you for taking time out of your day to read this, and have a nice day. Ooh, what? I hope that's not real. What the hell is Siren Head? Is that from Silent Hill? That's Pyramid Head, right? I don't know. That was pretty cool. Sorry, I'm catching up on the super chat. Adam, thanks for the super chat. LOL farts, the real horror story. Yes. Oh, my scary story. Cousin's wedding. He's marrying a girl he's not into. And he invited my uncle, his dad, who's divorcing my aunt, and he invited the mistress to the bridal party quit. The bridal party quit, and the maid of honor chat GPT'd her speech. Adam, I have questions. What do you mean they quit? They just like up and left in the middle of the wedding? Why is he marrying her? What is happening? What? I'm so confused. I have so many questions. I mean, obviously, I don't have the details, but like, people are like, why are people having a wedding when it sounds like a wedding should not be happening? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, me and my husband had the tiniest wedding because we wanted to avoid all the drama, and we did. And it was amazing. Weddings are weird. I don't know how many people in the chat are married or planning on getting married anytime soon, but honestly, it's just like so funny to me how like almost everyone I know, most people I know, when we tell them that we had like a tiny wedding, it was immediate family only, it was like super small, super quick, and then people are like, I wish we did that. Like, a lot of people are like, it did not end up being worth all that money, like, for the like all of it. But anyways, Iva Trees, hi, thanks for joining. I'm just talking about weddings right now. Okay, so let's see, which one do we want to read next? Night Village? Okay. All right, our next story is a little guy. This one is called Scary Tie Story. Hey there, Sapphire. My name is Autumn Rose. I would like to share with you a story my mother experienced when she was a little girl in Thailand. When I was 9, I liked to sneak out and go to my cousin's house since she lived next to me. I used to do this all the time until one of the most petrifying moments of my life occurred. One night, I was sneaking out very late to go to my cousin's. To sneak in the house, I had to go under a jackfruit tree. I was making my way to her house when I saw someone under the jackfruit tree. At first, I thought it's probably my cousin expecting me since I always snuck out and came to her house. But I was also a little creeped out because she's never waiting outside the house like that. I decided to get closer. This was not my cousin. I saw this pale, old person with long white hair crouching on the floor. They had no clothes. I couldn't tell if they were a man or a woman. They were scratching the floor with their long nails. I froze completely. I knew everyone in my village, and I had never seen this person before. I just kept on looking at them until they looked up at me, and I was sweating profusely. They had red eyes and just looked at me, but didn't say anything. My heart was pounding. I started crying and ran away as fast as I could back to my house. At this point, I was screaming and crying and woke my parents up. They asked me, "What happened? Why are you crying?" I told them what I saw. They told me that when something like this happens, it's a glitch between the real world and the spirits. Ever since that day, when I wanted to go to my cousin's house, I always had to walk with someone whilst going there and back, and I refused to go during nighttime. This continued for years until I moved houses and no longer lived next to my cousin. I am now living in England with my kids and husband and visit my family in Thailand every single year. My cousin still lives in the same house, and I will still not go there alone at night ever again. So like, what was it though? So it was just like a random ghosty ghost. Yeah, that's pretty creepy. Oh, Adam, we have an update about the wedding. Okay, so make sure I didn't. Okay, here we go. No, they quit before the wedding. Also, I think he's just trying to keep up with his brother and also just validate his decision to move to Tennessee. The wedding is this Saturday, so yeah, I have that to look forward to. Oh my God. That is so traumatic. Like, why? What? That's so upsetting. I mean, you know what? It's like, do what you want to do, but like, if what you're doing is causing so much drama around you, you should, take a second, think, am I the problem? You know? I don't know. Anyways. All right, next story. Let's see. All right, so this one is, they did not give a name. Oh, from Jester. Okay. Hi, Sapphire. I've been listening to you tell scary stories for so many years, and I finally decided to send in one of mine about things that have happened to me. So when I was about 8 years old, or maybe younger, I was at my house, and at the time, I was the only one inside, and my family was outside. They had asked me to go outside and hang out with them. So a few minutes later, I head over to my closet. And because my closet isn't in my room, it's in a hallway next to my parents' room. And in the middle of the bathroom was there. And what? Oh, and right as you go, right. Sorry. And right as you go in my brother's room is there, and outside the hallway next to my, whoa, sorry, hang on. There's a couple grammar errors I'm tripping up on. All right, here we go. So the closet is not in their bedroom. Okay, I get my shoes and I'm walking past my brother's room and stop because I heard something. I stop and I hear breathing. I freak out a little, and to make sure it wasn't me, I closed my mouth and my nose, and I still heard it. I got scared, so I sprinted outside where everyone was. Another story I have, and it's the most recent one. It was a few months ago, but I was in my room laying down watching my phone. My whole room was dark, and outside there was light. I was peacefully watching my phone, and I see a girl. At first I was a little weirded out because I didn't hear my mom invite anyone over to the house or my brother having a friend over. She walks, stops in the middle of my door, and looks at me with a neutral face. I look at her too and don't think much of it, but still was weirded out. I told myself to wait and see if I can hear her talking since I didn't see her go to the hallway. I assumed she went inside my brother's room. I wait maybe like 1 or 2 minutes, and by now I would have heard her, so I stood up to check my brother's room. And she wasn't there. I checked everywhere in the house. She was nowhere near my mom. My mom was sitting on the couch and she saw me running around and she asked me, "What is wrong with you? Why are you running around everywhere?" I asked her if anyone had come over to the house and she said no. And I asked if a little girl came to the house. She said no. I started crying, not because I was scared. I was just really confused, and it was really weird because it hit me and I started crying uncontrollably, telling my mom what had happened. But the thing that weirded me out more was that she looked like a normal little girl from today. She didn't have a white dress, or did she look freaky? She was probably like 4 feet tall, like the size of an 8 or 9-year-old, and was kind of tan, skinny. She had straight hair with a side part, both sides tucked in her ears, and her hair was really hard, but had highlights, and it reached to the half of her back. She was wearing a black, really short sleeve shirt that was a little tight on her. She was also wearing some leggings that were black and had a big stripe, or like a big chunk of the bottom of her legs were gray. The only thing I can't remember is if she was barefoot or had shoes. And she was like a mix of things. Her legging looked like some leggings my mom had. Her hair looked like the hair this one girl at school had. And her face looked like my godmother's daughter. But in my opinion, I don't think whatever in my house is bad. It probably just wanted my attention. What do you think? What do you think it was that I saw? But anyways, thank you for taking your time and reading my story on my experiences. I love your videos and podcasts so much. Jester. That's a cool name, Jester. All right, well, thank you for sharing that. That's actually kind of cool, like this idea that like this entity you saw in your house was sort of like an amalgamation of a bunch of people that you knew. So like, okay, it wasn't like cool, like, oh wow, like I want that to happen to me. It's actually really creepy because it's like, is it taking on like it, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't know how to human, so it's taking on bits and pieces of people that it's seen in that house. Oh, that's creepy, that's creepy, that's creepy. I like that though. That's kind of cool. Adam, oh wait, let me see what you said. It's worse than The Exorcist too. Oh, okay. All right, y'all. That is all for our stories. It is now time for our reading. Woohoo! All right, this is the Wild Mystic Oracle card set. All right, so everybody in the chat, if you want to, this is a card for it's a collective reading. Oh, yo! Look at the first card. Koala. Protect. Remember how I was like, I don't know what the koala is, and that was the very first one. So it's protect. That's cool. Thank you, cards. Okay. Ayaka Sano, Sapphire, do you read all the stories sent to you? Sorry, someone's asked this already. I mean, I don't. Do you mean do I read everyone on the internet? I mean, do I read every story live? No. I choose some to read. If it's too grammatically incorrect that I can't like just straight up read it, then I probably won't. If it is, oh yeah, I mean here's some tips for y'all submitting things. Make a really catchy subject line, because if your subject line is just like story, I have like hundreds of emails that just say story. So if you have like a really catchy subject line that like gets my attention, then I'll click on it, look at it, you know? And then also like don't write it all like one paragraph, because if it's just a block of text, it's so hard for my eyes to read. So break up your email, so that it's easier for me to read. It's, like, it doesn't need to be perfect grammar, but it just needs to be like easy to read. That's all. That's what I look for when I'm like skimming through emails, because I get a lot and I just don't have the time to like go through all of them and like change them, you know what I mean? So yeah, those are just a couple of tips. If you're submitting stuff, keep those things in mind. All right. Ooh, Adam, tell me, Mystic Cards, how shall I survive the wedding? All right, let's see if we'll get an animal for you that will help you this weekend. Kind of felt like it might be swan, but watch, I hope maybe it's koala again. I don't know, we'll see. 10? I heard 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Snake! I love the snake. So our animal is Rebirth. Okay. I mean, our animal is a snake, and the message is rebirth. Okay, here we go. This card represents the cycle of rebirth and eternity, while the salamander card represents the regrowth of a part of oneself from destruction and chaos. The snake signifies a natural rebirth of the whole self. As a snake sheds and emerges clean and new from the sheath of dead skin, it reminds us of the constant cycle of life, death, and rebirth. We shed our skin and hair daily, and the remnants of our bodily self become dust on the air, in the earth, and in the water. This card asks us to consider our place in the grand cycle of things and reminds us that change is a natural part of life. Gnosticism adopted the Egyptian symbol of the Ouroboros, the snake biting its own tail, into its teachings as a symbol of infinity and continuity. The symbol was originally associated with the union between Ra, ancient Egyptian god of creation and of the sun, and Osiris, god of the dead. This union of life and death becomes a symbol of rebirth. This card may symbolize the infinity of time and its repetitive cycle. It expresses the need for renewal, change, and evolution in order for the cycle not to be constantly repeated. Past life regression, funeral blessings, birth blessings, spring equinox ritual, garden magic. Oh, spring equinox ritual. Oh yeah, so this is a good Easter card. Yay. I don't know if that really helps you out, Adam. Actually, you know what, Adam? I want to pull another. This is a reading for Adam. So the snake was for everyone, and we're gonna give Adam a card to take to his wedding. Keep seeing swan, but that's like the love card. Maybe lion. I'm such a bad shuffler. Look how slow this is. Okay, 3, 1, 2. All right, Adam, you ready for your message? You got the octopus. The message is adaptation. I think that's a pretty good one for you for the weekend. So, where are you? This card represents adapting to new situations, flexibility, and adjustment. Octopuses are fascinating, intelligent creatures with the ability to adapt their bodies in many ways, from camouflaging themselves by changing the color of their skin, to mimicking the movement of other marine life, to squeezing in and out of incredibly tight spots. They are even capable of leaving the water for a time to avoid predators. Much like the salamander, octopuses are regenerative creatures capable of regrowing limbs and can disguise themselves with shells and sea debris to avoid detection. This card symbolizes adapting to your surroundings with ease and agility. It is the ability to think on your feet and outside the box. The octopus card may urge you to read a situation from a new angle or take a new approach to your problem. The octopus is a creative problem solver, and this card encourages you to be the same. Take a step back and do not get tangled up in a crisis. Regroup and begin a resolution afresh. In a shadow reading, okay, so it was not upside down, but I'll read this to you. In mythology, the octopus was often associated with the sea monster Kraken, a giant, many-legged beast that was a favorite subject of sailors' tales. Folklore and art depict giant octopuses who tangle themselves up within the rigging of ships and drag seafarers down into the ocean. When we consider these symbols alongside a shadow reading of the octopus as a representation of adaptability, it may be seen as a warning to get out while you can and not embroil yourself in something so much that you become entangled by it. Adapting, adjusting, and changing yourself can take great energy, and sometimes the reward is not worth the price. Interesting. Okay, so for you, Adam, I feel like it's just saying, you know what, like the best way to not lose your mind this weekend is to adapt, like, because if you think about it, you've already made this decision to go, right? The only other way to avoid drama in this situation is by not going, but you've already set that emotion that you're going to go. So the best way you can enjoy yourself is just like not contribute to more chaos, you know? Try to see what you can do to let everyone else have fun. You know, try to keep the vibes good if you sense that. Yeah, just like ride the vibe of like what's happening there, and then you should be fine. Yeah, no one likes going to stuff knowing that it's gonna suck. So just be like, all right, well, what can I do with this situation? All right, y'all, that was our live stream for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Vibe streams are currently on pause because I do need that extra time to work on content now, because the podcast and the video are back. And I'm also uploading more to the YouTube channel, so I need time. I need that time back. So thank you, everyone, for sticking around. Adam Lombardo, have fun at your wedding. Adapt, be the octopus. And everyone else, be the snake. Chloe's Roach, Strawberry Fart. What is that username? Memes United, Mikey C, Bomb Blitz, Ayaka Sano, Michaela Venegas, Nezuka Camaro. God, I'm sorry. Alex Tinsley. That's in like kanji. I can't read that. JJ the Bacon. Barrel Pile Lopez, Blurpy 445, Angel Sandoval, Haya. Thank you all for sticking around.